Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to Robert's Report Show. From the independent scene to the main event of WrestleMania. As always, I'm your host, Robert. Alright, AEW All Out review. I've seen a lot of stuff online the last day or so. The outrage this show got is actually unbelievable to me. As a wrestling fan, not a WWE fan, I'm a pro wrestling fan, so I watch WWE. I enjoy WWE. I enjoy TNA. I enjoy AEW. I enjoy GCW. I enjoy House of Glory. I enjoy any wrestling company that I watch because I find enjoyment in all of it. It's all a little bit different, but I'm able to find enjoyment. I don't criticize shit just because, well, I didn't like this match, so the whole company sucks. I don't do that kind of stuff. And if you ever watch one of my videos, you know this. I do videos on AEW, on WWE, on TNA, on Ring of Honor, on GCW, on House of Glory, on Wrestling Revolver, all of it. So, my take on this show. Overall, top to bottom, a typical AEW pay-per-view. So you had just unbelievable God matches we're going to look back on in 5 years, 10 years going, do you remember that match? Oh, I do. Then we're going to have matches that are like, it was okay. Women's title match, it was okay. The buy-in matches, they were okay. The MJF Garcia match, it was okay. The international title match, fucking insane. The AEW World title match, fucking insane. The Lights Out Steel Cage match. Fucking awesome. We're going to start there. Adam Page, Swerve Strickland. A year-long blood feud with these two. You have Swerve for the last year just saying shit about Adam Page and literally saying, I took your spot, dude. And you have this all build back up over the last couple weeks to the fact that Swerve loses his title to Danielson, and then he's like, you know what? I made myself big. I'm able to win. Made some money. I'm able to buy my childhood home, and starts talking about his childhood. And then Adam Page shows up and burns that motherfucker to the ground. What better way to leave Dynamite into a pay-per-view to go, holy fuck? What kills me about this is there's fans out there that have outraged over that. They shouldn't have done that. There's a little thing we call the Attitude Era. Vince McMahon supposedly blew himself up in a limousine. There was an outrage on that. And I even said this on social media. They literally put Undertaker in a casket and set the casket on fire inside the arena. There was an outrage about that. People have outrage over stuff for no reason. There is nothing that they did in this match that I personally have not seen in other wrestling companies. Independent company, by the way, but still. Not a mainstream TV deal, no. But here's the thing. This is on pay-per-view. I spent $50 on this show. Everyone who paid for it spent $50 on the show unless you have a VPN that's out of the country and you get the out-of-country price. I know people do that. That's fine. But still, you spend $25 on it. So this match, we build this all up. We make it lights out, steel cage, unsanctioned. Basically means anything goes. Chairs, tables in the ring before the cage even come down. You had Adam Page holding Swerve down so when the cage come down, he got decapitated. Luckily, they moved before the cage came all the way down. You had a fucking staple gun. You had a black and yellow tote in the corner with a staple gun in it. That is GCW shit right there, folks. The fact that Page went after Swerve with the staple gun, and then Swerve got a hold of the staple gun to start stapling Page with it. I mean, you had Swerve staple the picture of Page. You had barbed wire, just pieces of barbed wire that wrap around their arms and just clotheslining people with it. Chairs. Swerve did the side drop of Page on the cement block, and the block didn't break or crack or even chip. I know people have you've messed with cement blocks before. They're not light. They're not fake. They're not, they know how to fall. No, you don't know how to fall on a cement block. Page had the spike that he took from the house and burnt. I mean, where did he dream up this stuff? I thought it was hella fun, though. I thought this match was that, blood feud, take it to the next level of these two. Paige doing the super power bomb off the top rope. Paige having the, pulling the cold bridge out of Swerve's mouth. The needle, that was just, I had to turn on that one. I've watched a lot of death matches, but to pull a hyperkinetic needle out and shove it through the cheek, I just had the cheek through the cheek of Swerve. It's like, holy crap. And then the chair shot at the end. Paige literally killed Swerve Circle with a chair shot to the head. Now, chair shots to the head, we know what can come of that. We know some ramifications of taking those kind of shots. We know more about the brain than we've ever known before. Maybe that shouldn't have happened. If you would have taken a chair shot like across the chest or even to the back, I mean, okay. But just straight on the forehead, I mean, here's the thing. When these matches happen, like this match here, I'm not saying these guys did this all in practice, quote, but Adam Page, Swerve Strickland, producers, etc., were in that ring laying out what they're going to do here. Page agreed to swing the chair like that. Swerve agreed to take that hit. That wasn't a blindside hit on Swerve. He knew he was taking that hit. He knew he was getting stuck in the cheek with a hyperkinetic needle. They knew they were stapled one another. They knew the stuff going into the match. This wasn't all just done on the fly. But still, they brought this match to life. They brought this unsanctioned blood feud to life. Adam Page getting the victory. I give it 4.5. When I watch a death match in GCW, if you watch any of my GCW videos, you know that I talk about this. I look at the weaponry, I look at all the plunder, all that stuff as moves. So to me, when they're the back body, side drop somebody on a seam out block, that's to me an elevated side drop. When they do things with the needle, that's just like a armbar kind of, it's a move. It's part of the match progressing. So that's how I rate these matches, and that's how I watch these matches. This is just another move in the match. Do I want to sit there and watch Zack Sabre Jr. twist Bryan Danielson up for an hour? Done it. Those are moves, just like all the plunder is an additional to the move. So that's my take on that main event. The World Heavyweight title, we'll save that for the last of the show. So the 0-hour matches, we had the Acclaim with Billy Gunn taking on the Iron Savages, Boulder and Bronson, with Jack Jameson at ringside. Honestly, the only big spot in this match really was Boulder slammed both Bowens and Caster. I think the Acclaim has lost a little luster since they quit doing the rap. So I'd like to see that come back and get them back to where they were. 2.5 star on that match. It lasted 8 minutes. Next up, we had a 6-man tag. We had Dustin Rhodes teaming up with Hologram and Sammy Guevara, taking on the premier athletes Ariya Daivari, Josh Williams, and Tony Nese with Mark Sterling at ringside. To me, this was a dynamite match or a collision match. I'm kind of weird to me that Dustin on AEW programming is teaming with Hologram and Sammy Guevara in 6-man, but he's Ring of Honor 6-man tag champions with the Von Erichs. Why not have the Von Erichs out here? Maybe have Sammy Guevara at ringside, take Hologram out, and have Dustin and Von Erichs, or even have one of the Von Erichs in there. I just don't understand the whole Hologram. Sammy Guevara is with Dustin and the Von Erichs in Ring of Honor. So putting Hologram with those two didn't make a lot of sense to me. Decent match. It was a little less than 10 minutes long, 9:51. I give it 2 3/4 star. Then we just had a 6-man tag that we've seen before. We had the Bang Bang Gang, Austin Gunn, Colten Gunn, and Juice Robinson. Rock hard Juice Robinson taking on the Dark Order, Alex Reynolds, Evil Uno, and John Silver. It's almost like the Dark Order had just become enhanced talent tag 6-man guys just to get beat. Seems like a lot. 7.5 minutes. I give it 2 3/4 star with the Bang Bang Gang winning. Next up, we had a trios 3-way. So we had a 6-man tag triple threat match with Action Andretti and Top Flight. I kind of like them together with the high flying and everything. Taking on the United Kingdom, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and Roddy Strong. And then Shane Taylor Productions, Lee Moriarty, Shane Taylor, and the Beast of Mortos. I mean, just a standard Dynamite Collision match. To me, this match would have main evented a Collision. But the Undisputed Kingdom getting the victory, Taven, Bennett, and Strong, I give it 2 3/4 star. First match on the AEW All Out card was MJF taking on Daniel Garcia. Garcia came to the crowd, attacked MJF to start out with. Both of them just big hits on the outside. MJF biting Garcia's cut that I guess he did on Collision. Open it up so he's bleeding. MJF got a weird roll up at the end. It was weird at the end of this match. The match was kind of like wonky. And then there, to me at least, and there was he kind of rolled him up at the close to the ropes. You had him the shoulder. You see the shoulders down, and the referee hits 1, moves, hits 2, 3. It's a proper count. But it looked like at first, I had to rewind it. It looked like he get kicked out at 2, and they called it 3, but he kind of kicked out at 3. Then you had the whole typical MJF, shake your hand. We kicked ass out there together. Before MJF could low blow him, MJF went to low blow him. Garcia caught his leg and low blowed him, and then just basically took him out. So I don't know why you have Garcia kind of turning or kind of heel on the heel, because MJF is heel. So this to me was kind of a heel and a tweener, and the tweener kind of turned heel against the heel at the end. I know I saw something online about MJF being on TV for a while, so I don't know what's going on with all that. It's kind of weird to me. I ended up giving the match 3.5. Next up, we have the AEW World Tag Titles on the line. We have champion the Young Bucks, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, your EVPs, taking on the Blackpool Combat Club. Claudio, Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta, they come into play later. This was just a weird match to me. You had the Young Bucks doing their flippy shit on the floor. Matt flipped over on the floor to Claudio. Although it was just a standard match to me. Wheeler and Matt did it off the top rope. And it's kind of, it was nothing stood out to me. It was kind of just your standard tag team match where you just kind of went through the motions. I ended up giving it 3.5 with Young Bucks retaining. But I think a lot of that, maybe if you look forward what came with Claudio and Wheeler Yuta, maybe that explains why they just didn't seem like they were in sync. But the Young Bucks retaining their AEW Tag Team Championships there. Next up, we have the International Championship on the line. Champion William Ospreay taking on Pac. I love the fact that Excalibur talked a lot about Jody Fleisch and how Pac was kind of one of those forerunners of the European and the New Japan coming to the U.S. kind of thing, and Will Ospreay just kind of ran through that as well. But Pac was kind of one of the forefathers of that transition. I love the fact they talked about that kind of stuff and brought that up, and kind of showed Pac was kind of the leader of what Will Ospreay is today. If it wasn't for Pac and Jody Fleisch, we wouldn't have the Will Ospreay we have today. These two went out there, and holy crap, Pac did this kind of, looked almost like a, oh god, I'm not really good with move names. The twisty flip thing he does off the top rope, spiral tap kind of ish thing. And when he does it, and then Ospreay kind of does the exact same move, it's like, okay, that's cool. I know some people are like, well, he's mocking off. No, it's kind of cool, actually. But yeah, these two guys, two of the high flyers out there. Pac hitting a avalanche brainbuster, which was sick as hell. They fought on the outside. Pac countering the Stormbreaker. Whew. It's like, holy crap. And then Will Ospreay ended up getting the win at the end. A little over 20 minutes, 20.5 minutes. I ended up giving it 4 3/4 star. Not quite 5-star material for me, but, there is somebody out there that's going to give it like 15 stars or something crazy. Next up, we had the Chicago Street Fight, Chris Statlander taking on Will Nightingale. Holy shit. Yeah, women in a street fight. These two, sign me up again. Let's rematch this bad boy. Stat just put Willow through the announce table. Stat going for plunder, and Willow plunder on the ramp. And then when Willow pulled out the 3 tubes taped together and just annihilated Chris Statlander with it, it's like, oh shit, that's some serious shit right there, folks. Both, getting split open, just Stat spearing Willow Nightingale off the stage through the tables. When Stat did the splits on the tacks in the ring, the tacks, the inner thigh, that's a sensitive area, and it was like, oh god, that looked like it hurt. We know he didn't get up in the hoochie hoo, but it's still gonna get fucking hurt. The fact we had a chain turned into a chain match, and they freaking end up doing like a strap match with a chain, and Stat ends up choking out Willow with a chain. It's like, holy crap! I get this match 4-star. I may rewatch it. It may go to 4.5. But you know what? We're just gonna go. I'm gonna go ahead and officially say 4.25 is what my official number on that match is gonna be. 4.25 on the Chicago Street Fight, Chris Statlander versus Willow Nightingale. Next up, we had the AEW Continental title on the line, 4-way match. That's kind of Kazuchika Okada, the champion, taking on Mark Briscoe, Orange Cassidy, and Konosuke Takeshita. I like the match, don't get me wrong. Not a lot of big spots. You had a lot of more 2-on-2 and kind of 3-on-3. You didn't have a lot of the 4-on-4. No big spots. Just kind of everybody kind of fighting everyone. Then Okada getting the pin on Orange Cassidy. I give it 3 3/4. Good match. I enjoyed it. Just I needed more from it. The AEW Women's title. Ooh, this was a disappointment to me. The AEW TBS title on the line. Champion Mercedes Moné versus Hiroko Shida. She's damn good. Moné's I thought was pretty damn good. This match wasn't pretty damn good to me. This match fell kind of short for me. I didn't see a lot of things I enjoyed about it. I ended up giving it 2 3/4 star. Nothing stood out really. Like, oh, this spot happened. There's really nothing big. It was just kind of your standard women's match you would see on Dynamite. It didn't race to the level of all the pay-per-view, or race to the level of kind of where it was at on the card, or nothing. So Moné getting a victory there on Hikaru Shida. And then the first main event, actual main event of the show, before the lights out match, they called it, AEW World Heavyweight Title Line champion Bryan Danielson taking on Jack Perry. Bryan doing that flying surfboard on Perry, and then the springboard on the outside that Bryan did. This match started off pretty tame. I thought it started off to me like you would an Iron Man match. A lot of submission holds, a lot of mat stuff, and then it kind of ramped up a little bit. Once Jack pulled the referee in front of Bryan, doing the kick, and the referee got knocked down, the Bucks come out, attack Bryan, and then Bucks hit the TK driver on Bryan. Claudio and Wheeler Yuta come out and chase off the Bucks. Killswitch comes out and attacks Bryan. Christian comes out. He has that title shot anytime he wants it, so it's like a cash in. Then you had Mox appear. So this is after Bryan getting the victory on Jack Perry. Then you had Mox appear, kind of almost stopping the family there, Christian and Nick Wayne and Killswitch. And then you had Claudio and Wheeler Yuta come out, had that standoff. They get in the ring with Pac. Pac I like how Pac held Wheeler Yuta back while, Mox is like, hey, or Danielson's like, hey, Mox is here, Claudio's here, we're here, the BCC. And then the BCC turns on Bryan, and Claudio European uppercuts him, and it was on from there. And then we had the bag over the face of Danielson by Mox and almost trying to suffocate him. People, don't take this shit too seriously. It's pro wrestling. The match itself I gave 4 3/4 star to. People complain so much about AEW not telling stories. They start doing stuff like this, telling stories like the Lights Out match, like this. Now we have a true heel in Moxley, a true face in Bryan Danielson. Boom, here you go. We have a blood feud started. And there's talk of obviously Shane coming in and doing something. And the fact that Mox goes, this isn't your company anymore. You got Mox, you got Claudio, you got Pac, you got Maria Shafir. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Where did they work at before? I don't know if that's what it means, but it's leaning that way. Yes, Danielson worked there too, but Danielson is pretty much better face than heel. So I want to see where this goes. This is storytelling, folks. It is pro wrestling. You don't need to take it all that serious. But you know what? Overall, great show. AEW All Out. As always, thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. From the independent scene to the main event of WrestleMania and everything in between. Thanks for watching Robert Sports Show. Don't just have a great day. Have a spiffy day. Robert Sports Show, your YouTube leader in sports channel content.